Welcome to MarcusG.tv. I'm Chef Marcus Giuliano. I'm a chef on a mission. Today's mission is how to vote for the best candidate. How to vote for the best candidate. Yes, you heard me correct. So this happens quite often. I have two restaurants, and both of my restaurants don't have big brands of really anything at all. You want Coke, we don't have it. You want Pepsi, we don't have it. You want Jack Daniels, we don't have it. You want Absolute Vodka, we don't have it. Budweiser, we don't have it. Coors Light, we don't have it. So last night, I had a 7-top in one restaurant, one Coors Light, and they want to get up and leave. Well, you don't have what we want to leave. And this happens quite often. It happens often where people are like really just pissed off that I don't have the brand that they're used to drinking, like Corona. And to a point, they're so pissed off that some of them do leave my restaurant. They actually get up and leave and say, we're leaving, we're going to another restaurant. And it's just so mind-boggling that people are so narrowed and focused in on, this is the brand I drink. This is the brand I drink, this is what I eat, and I can't deviate off of it. Now, Roma Time has 300 beers. You can't tell me you can't find a beer that's similar to the one you're looking for, but just not in that brand. Same thing with vodkas. We have 40 vodkas. You can't tell me, because we don't have Grey Goose, that you can't drink something small and independent. So the premise of my restaurants is to support independent brands, independent families, independent businesses that are making a difference in communities. Communities inside the U.S. and communities abroad. So who is the best candidate to vote for? If we're coming up with a presidential election again, I got to tell you, if you're voting Republican, corporate Democrat, which is what most of these people are, they're taking money from these huge corporations, you're voting for the destruction of jobs, the destructions of our freedoms, our rights, because these candidates represent big corporations. So if you want to vote correctly, you vote with your wallet. Where your dollar goes is the vote that counts. Every time you go to a store, every time you go to a restaurant, every time you go anywhere, when you support independent, you're supporting a better cause. You're supporting a better candidate. You're supporting America, you're supporting jobs, you're supporting communities across the world. So for example, let me give you some examples. Rolling Rock. Rolling Rock, we all know those Rolling Rock commercials. Latrobe, Pennsylvania, you can see those commercials. They were on for years. As soon as Latrobe was bought by Budweiser, InBev, Anheuser-Busch, whoever bought them at the time, was Budweiser as part of InBev, AB InBev it's called, massive, massive beer conglomerate. Coors is part of SAB, South African Brewers, which is another massive, massive conglomerate. Now these two are the leading force in the beer world. AB InBev, Anheuser-Busch InBev, and SAB, South African Brewers. Now they want to merge and even take more of the market on. So what these companies do is they go in, they buy a brand, they shut down the production facility. In most cases, they shut down the production facility. If they don't shut down the production facility, they cut corners everywhere they possibly can to make more money. So they take things, so if you have a brewery and you sell to, for example, like Goose Island. Goose Island, I know we're on Rolling Rock, but Goose Island sold to Budweiser and AB InBev. AB InBev. They sold to them, they sold to Budweiser. Immediately what happens is they start outsourcing all the stuff. So if you're that brewery, you might be buying your paper supplies, your office supplies, a bunch of things from all these small independent companies that you've done business with for years. Well, as soon as they come in, they cut all that out, and you go with their corporate suppliers, which are other huge mass conglomerates. At Budweiser, when Budweiser was sold to InBev or merged with InBev, the first thing they did was cut out the Beechwood Agent guy. Beechwood Agent guy had a business for 80 years. And they just shut them down. Said, we're buying our Beechwood chips from our corporate supplier, which does our other breweries. Budweiser has 200 brands, people. InBev, AB InBev represents 200 brands. They own a majority of Corona, and they have distribution rights with Corona. It's just, you would be shocked. And Corona is a part of another like 8 different brands that they like own and have distribution rights to. So you can be drinking like a Presidente beer, you're drinking Budweiser. All these beers are in disguise. All these brands, all these liquor brands are in disguise. So for me in my restaurant, it's important to support the people that are still making a difference in communities. So back to Rolling Rock. Rolling Rock was bought, shut down, hundreds and hundreds of people lost their jobs. Well, now we're in another presidential election, and we're talking about jobs, 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 jobs. Well, 4 years ago, we were talking about jobs, jobs, jobs. 8 years ago, we were talking about jobs, 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 jobs. We've been losing jobs in America since the 80s. And now with NAFTA, these trade deals, NAFTA, now the Trans-Pacific Partnership, we've lost millions and millions and millions of jobs. So when you're supporting these big companies, you're supporting our lack of jobs. You're supporting these people taking away jobs. So now what happens with Rolling Rock? Because they still have to make the beer, right? The beer still has to be made. They still need manpower. But now from Little Latrobe, Pennsylvania, plants shut down, really gone, all the jobs are gone. Now they can do production in Newark, New Jersey, a quarter of the staff. The infrastructure's already there, right? The building's already there. You can literally do that for a fraction of the labor. Just like Walmart can go into a small community and do the same thing, not really the same thing, because they can't do the customer service part. They can do the same items, and you can have one person manage 2-3 departments, as opposed to your local hardware store where one person does this department, one person does that department. It's like a 5-to-1 ratio of what Walmart can cut. Well, the same thing with these companies. Johnny Walker. You'd be surprised. I can list off brand after brand after brand that is totally, if you're into wine, spirit, if you drink alcohol, I can list off brand after brand that has been consolidated, gobbled up, part of a bigger company that doesn't have a production facility, that shares its production with their parent corporation. Bacardi Rossi, 200 brands, only 27 production facilities. So, Johnny Walker, bought by Diageo. Diageo is the devil when it comes to the spirit. They own Guinness. Diageo owns Guinness. So what they do is they shut down the Johnny Walker plant. I think like 700 people lost their job in this poor town in Scotland. If you're a small town in Scotland, you lose 700 jobs, that's devastating. That's detrimental to an economy. But it's not detrimental to Diageo, because Diageo takes this brand. Because they're only interested in this brand. The label, okay? They're not interested in the people, the community. They're not interested in the environment. They're not interested in doing the right thing. They're interested in profit, 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 and more profit. So we can take this brand. Well, they're only interested in the trademark, the label, the thing on there. It's all they're interested in. They're not interested in how everything gets in there. And they put it into a main production facility and slash jobs left and right. So when you come into my restaurant and you want to get up and leave, you want to leave and go to another restaurant, because I don't have Coors Light or Budweiser, that is so offensive to me. It's incredibly offensive. And we explain to everybody, we explain, we're a small business. We want to support other small businesses. We want to do the right thing. We want to support people that support us. We want to, that's what we want to do. I was at a wine and spirit tasting last year. The lady from Square One Vodka, she ran up to me and gave me a hug. She goes, "Oh my God, Marcus," I've never met her before. She goes, "Oh my God, Marcus." She saw my name tag. She goes, "You were my first account in upstate New York. Thank you so much. You're one of my best accounts still in upstate New York. Thank you so much." Nobody from Absolute's going to do that. Nobody from Grey Goose, nobody from Guinness is going to do that. What these companies do is, these companies say, "Hey, if you buy our new flavor of the XYZ vodka, we'll throw a few other bottles of this for free for you," which is illegal, by the way. Guinness was doing it. For their blonde, you bought a keg of blonde, they gave you something else. Totally illegal in most states, especially the state of New York. But these companies have such deep pockets that they just bribe. They bribe all their accounts. So Coors comes in with all these promotional things. They come in with Yankee tickets, Mets tickets. And I got to tell you, there's one bar that's close to here, a few miles up the road, that only buys from one distributor, because that distributor gives them tons of Mets tickets. So it doesn't matter about the local breweries in the area. It doesn't matter about the local breweries in our region. They could care less about supporting local. All the guy cares is about his Mets and Yankee tickets. That's all he cares about. I gotta tell you, at my restaurant they don't do that. They they don't pull that crap. But when I worked in country clubs, when I was the executive chef in country clubs, these guys would bombard me. Oh, come to this, come to this. We're taking everybody out to a Yankee game. Then we're having a party afterwards. This and that. Oh, by the way, here's tickets to this game. Here's tickets to that game. Oh, let me send a limo for you to pick you. I've had companies want to send me limos to pick me up for their events and for games to bribe me. I'm just a chef, okay? I'm not a doctor. I'm not a doctor who's making $1 million and selling all these high profit prescription items. I'm trying to make a living selling food, which is a very low margin, low profit industry. And these guys are throwing tons of money. These beer companies, they have all these promotional budgets, but they come in and literally say, if you buy this, I will give you this for free. I have samples in the car. And it's just like, it's such a cutthroat way to do business. In the state of Massachusetts, it's been a long practice for these bigger breweries to pay restaurants, to give them something, to give them equipment, to pay to run a beer line. It's called pay to play. And it's totally illegal in Massachusetts. And somebody broke the story 2 years ago, how these companies come in and they say, oh, you should be pouring our tap beer. Here's, oh, by the way, here's this, and this, whether it's equipment for the tap beer, which is totally illegal. You can't give equipment because it's a bribe, okay? It's a total bribe, and the state liquor authorities don't like that. But these companies still do that. And the small independent guy who's trying to pay for dance lessons for his daughter, college tuition, trying to do the right thing in the community, trying to culture an environment and be sustainable, and actually contribute to a community, they don't have that kind of a budget. They don't have those deep pockets. So they lose out constantly to the big guys. And these are the big guys that turn around and buy their companies and disassemble them. And we all think like when Romney was running for president, we all think, oh, how successful he was. I heard so many people say, successful business person. He's a capital venture, something in my throat. He goes in, he buys companies, disassembles them, interested in the trademark, the brand, and ships all the production off to China. Do you call that a successful businessman? Do you call somebody that should be representing America? I don't. You have a right every time you go to a store to vote with your wallet, to vote independent. Do you go to a big brand box shoe store, or do you go to the independent guy down the street? Do you pay a few more bucks than the independent guy? You might pay a few more bucks than the independent guy. Do you buy something online from Amazon? Or do you actually go support a small independent moms and pop store? Do you cultivate relationships? For me, it's all about cultivating relationships. Last night, I'm at another event. Last night. I go to a table, I see a brand of whiskey. The guy looks at me and goes, oh my gosh. He goes, I'm so glad to meet you. You've got to meet our owner. He goes, I was looking at reports the other day. He goes, you bought 45 bottles of our whiskey in the last year. He goes, what are you guys doing? I got to get down and visit you. I gotta get down and like take care of you guys and see what's going on there. And thank you guys for all the support. This is a small brand of whiskey I'm supporting. He goes, you've got to meet our owner. First time I met, she goes, oh my gosh. She goes, I know exactly who you guys are. I read the reports. She goes, as soon as I can get out of the distillery, because they're a brand new company, she goes, as soon as I can get out of the distillery, she goes, I'm coming to eat, I'm coming to visit. People from these other big companies aren't doing that. When we first switched over to these all small tequilas and got rid of all the big brand tequilas, I was posting on the internet, hey, we just got this tequila, we got that on my blog, and it was picked up by one of the tequila producers. And they sent me an email saying, please come visit us. Come see what our family does. Same thing with Kelt, Cognac. Oliver Kelt sent me an email. I posted something online. He sent me an email, please come visit us at our distillery. We'd love to show you what we do in our family-run business. These other places have distillery tours, they have brewery tours, but it's not the owner reaching out to you, because there is no really owner, right? It's all corporately owned. There's stockholders. They're a PR person, they're whatever. These things are set up like these mass companies that have systems, and okay, yeah, we have a distillery tour, we're going to come show you through, but who's reaching out to me from these companies? It's not the people who really care, it's the people who are paid to do their job. They're paid to do their job, and they have to answer to budgets. They have to answer all these things. I talked to a bunch of salespeople that work for big companies, that work for big brands, and they are so, the pressure's put on them in these big sales companies. The pressure is put to say, hey, we have this new vintage coming in. We have this new brand coming in. We have this new flavor of Jack Daniels coming in, and we need it in every single one of your accounts, and we don't care what you have to do. Here's a credit card. Go to these accounts and make sure that you get this brand in so many accounts. You need this many placements. I've had guys walk in, hey, will you buy this? Oh, by the way, here's my credit card. I'll buy a $50 gift certificate, basically as a bribe, right? Well, if you buy this, I'll give you $50 right now, right? I've had so many sales reps over the years do that, and the ones that know that I won't don't come back and do it, but every now and then you get somebody who's really desperate and say, hey, I need really help. I need to place this brand. I need more placements to reach my bonus. The whole thing is a scam, people. The whole big corporatization is a scam, and it's undermining America. It's undermining our jobs. And they place these ads, and you guys are, not you guys, some of you, a lot of you are still convinced that you need to drink Coors Light, and you still need to drink Budweiser, and you're willing to sit in my restaurant with a party of 5, with a party of 7, with a party of 2, and make everybody else at the table effing miserable because there's nothing there that you are willing to bend or wager on. There's nothing there because you're so close-minded that there's nothing there that you're willing to say to the rest of the party, because a lot of times there's only one person in the party, by the way. It's only one person. You're willing to say to everybody else in the party, let's move restaurants. We picked this restaurant, let's get up and go to another restaurant that is willing to undermine jobs and the economy and the integrity of the product. So what's your opinion on this? Leave some comments, leave some criticisms, leave some likes, leave some shares. You can't leave a share. You have to share a share. So it's not leaving a share. But let me get your opinion on this. And realistically, honestly, when we first opened 12 years ago, there weren't many brands to support independents. The independents were out there. It was hard to stock a bar with all this stuff. Hardest part was to convince other people that, hey, you need to be drinking this so-called off brand. When there's not many off brands. Now there's so many off or independent brands that it's so easy. It's much, much easier now as a restaurant owner to be able to say, hey, I have 40 vodkas and you don't need a big brand. Hey, I have 100 beers. In my case, I have 300 beers and I don't have one big brand. So I'm Chef Marcus Giuliano. Thanks for watching this. If you like my videos, please hit like, subscribe to my channel, leave some comments, leave some questions. I'll be happy to answer. Thanks for watching.